Hi everyone, it's Adriana here for Couture Creations, and today I'm going to show product feature the translucent synthetic alcohol ink paper. It's a great tool with using alcohol inks from Couture Creations and also the Stayz in Place alcohol ink pad. I'm going to show you some tips and techniques with this paper and show you how I created these 4 cards using the translucent synthetic alcohol ink paper. So let's get started. So here I have a stamp from the Blooming Friendship layered stamp. It's a beautiful big flower and it has dies to match it to cut out once you've stamped your image. I'm using the block set stamp. I'm using the large block set stamp to place the clear stamp on there, and using the Stayz in Place alcohol ink pad, the mini one. It's in black matte, and I'm dabbing that all over the actual stamp and stamping that on a piece of translucent paper. The translucent paper comes in A4 size, and I usually cut it down to the size that I need to do. Once I've stamped that image, the actual translucent paper and the ink on top of it is actually still wet, so you need to leave it a few minutes to actually dry. To clean your stamp, I'm just using a baby wipe and the stamp cleaner from Couture Creations. Wipe it all over the stamp, and that protects your stamps always. And I always suggest when you're using your stamp pad, and especially the Stayz in ink pad, make sure you clean it straight away. So I'm going to leave that to dry, and once that's dry, I'm going to paint the image, but I just got to tell you I'm painting on the reverse. If you were to paint directly on top of your stamped image and then paint over it, you will actually bleed the alcohol Stayz in Place ink pad. So I'm turning it over, and as you can see, the image has come through beautifully on the reverse side. And I'm just colouring it in with some Fluro colours here. I have listed all the products in the description down below in my video, in the description below, and I'm just painting it with a bit of brush and some alcohol solution and just colouring in the leaves of my flower. I've also done the shells as well, and this is a great way of using translucent paper, stamping it, turning it over and giving it colour on the reverse side. You could also use alcohol markers to paint or to colour in images as well on the reverse side. So just sit back and watch me as I paint a few of these images with alcohol inks. After I coloured it, I'm just going to leave it there to dry. As you can see, the alcohol inks are still wet. Here is an image I've stamped before on some translucent paper. I'm turning it over and I'm also colouring it in. This time I'm actually applying the colour on top of the image, but as I said, it's on the reverse side. It's really important that you do it on the reverse side. Once it's coloured and dried, I'm going to cut these out with scissors and place them on my card as I've shown you before. So now I have another piece of translucent paper, and I'm going to show you another technique that you can use this to create a wonderful background using the translucent synthetic alcohol ink paper and some Fluro alcohol inks from Couture Creations. I've listed the codes and the colours in the description below. On the left hand side, you'll see that I've already stamped some images on some translucent synthetic alcohol ink paper with the Chocolate Sprinkles Stayz in Place ink pad, and I've stamped some butterflies, and I'm just waiting for that to dry so then I can turn it over and colour the butterflies as well. So with the alcohol inks, fluoro colours, and also the blending solution, I'm using my puffer just to blow around the colour and blend that all beautifully together. Again, once this is, I have to leave this completely to dry. The surface is a non-porous surface, so it does take a few minutes to completely dry the alcohol inks. You can see how wet it is there. So now I'm going to colour my butterflies. I've already stamped this image on the translucent synthetic paper with the Stayz in Place chocolate sprinkles alcohol ink pad and re-inker, and again I'm turning it over, so I'm actually colouring in with my alcohol colours. Again, you can use alcohol markers, and I'm just colouring it in on the reverse side so that way the image does not bleed. Once these are completely dry, I'll cut them out and use them on another card or project. But I just wanted to show you that the colours, once you've actually placed it on a piece of white paper especially, the colours just come out really vibrant on with the translucent paper onto cardstock. So here I have my translucent paper. I've stamped some images of the butterfly with the alcohol ink matte black ink pad, Stayz in Place ink pad, and as you can see on the white cardstock, the colours just are really nice and vibrant, and it's a very simple card. I've just added some sentiments on top. I'm just placing some double-sided tape to secure my translucent paper onto the cardstock. You can see how the colours are vibrant. Really pretty and just very simple to use to create wonderful backgrounds. This card here is where I'm going to use the outlines or the beautiful images of the butterflies. As you can see, I've already cut them out, and I'm going to now do some stamping of some leaves with my khaki coloured alcohol ink Stayz in Place ink pad. As you can see, it comes with the re-inker. I'm just testing the ink because I actually stamped this before in using it in another project, and the ink is still quite wet, so I'm really happy with that. If it wasn't wet or not as enough dampness on it, I would actually use the re-inker on it and add some more colour. So I'm just stamping it over my image just to create a few leaves, and this is the best thing about alcohol ink Stayz in Place ink pads. You can use it on porous surfaces and also non-porous surface. So non-porous surfaces such as paper. You can use it on any type of mediums. It takes a little bit longer to dry if it's a non-porous surface, and then on porous surface you can use markers, you can use any alcohol ink color. It will never, or watercolor mediums, any types of mixed media, you can use it and it will never bleed. But on porous surfaces it will bleed because it's alcohol with alcohol. So here I have my butterflies, and now I'm just going to attach my butterflies. But before I do that, I'm using the Stayz in Place chocolate sprinkles ink pad and just stamping two images, so it will be a doubled image, and I'm layering the translucent butterflies on top with some glue spots just to give it a little bit of depth, and the butterflies look like they're fluttering with the translucent paper. It looks quite effective. And another simple card, just using these techniques just to create different card techniques. I'm now securing the translucent butterflies with a clear glue spot. These are from Couture Creations, and that's perfect, so that way you don't see the glue and you don't see the tape. It's quite a great little tool for using for layering. So here are my cards. As you can see, once I cut out that beautiful butterfly and also the flower against the white background, it just pops, and I really love using the Stayz in ink pads for colors. It gives a beautiful pearlized sheen to the leaves of my cards. Here's that translucent butterfly background. See how it just colours just pop from the white background, and my fluttering butterfly card. I'd like to thank you for watching me, and I hope you've enjoyed my video. Please subscribe to my channel and give a big like. If you want to see more product and more product techniques and featured products, please visit couturecreations.com.au for more information and more inspiration. Thanks for watching, and see you soon. Bye for now.